What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the #1 live tuning show on the face of the planet. And I have to admit that I may have accidentally messed up and forgot to post that until just a couple minutes ago. What's going on? What's going on, Joe? What's going on, De La Soul? What is happening? What's new, everybody? No, Danny, I just forgot to post it like an idiot. Sometimes I forget stuff. What's up, Andrew? Sometimes I forget to do stuff. It happens quite often. I am somewhat forgetful, if you haven't noticed. So, who else we got in here? Marty, Jonathan Blunt. Just got back from the old Hard Rock in Tulsa, I take it. Let's see what's going on this week. I went to the dentist yesterday and got a temporary crown put on, and it fell out tonight at dinner. So, that's the kind of life I've been living over here. What up, Levi? You know, fun stuff. But other than that, I've got so much to get done this week. It's gonna be quite the week. Ah, thanks, man. Use some RTV. No, I literally broke it. Ah, Brian. It's pretty much in the same situation I was in whenever he gave it to me. Well, Jerry. So, haven't missed much. I'm hoping to change that this weekend. I've got like 4 or 5 videos I need to shoot this weekend, so it's gonna be questionable. What up, Brad? What's everybody else been working on this week? I got my new awesome soundboard over here, so I love playing with this thing. Whoa! Look how fancy that is. Oh, dude, I've got just the side area where I normally have my workbenches and stuff. I've got parts just stacked up over there. Hey, Marty. You're welcome. Stay tuned. There's going to be more. So, what up, Easy? I don't know.
Say.
Doesn't seem to work right half the time.
Okay. Let me know if I sound weird because I'm playing around with this thing. Tell me if I sound normal. I have a sniffing suspicion that's messed up. So, Jerry says my wife's 515.053 has a cam, heads, intake, throttle body, headers, and was tuned by logging performance, but not for E85. What tables do I need to start with? For E85? You just need to find a E85 like a 2014. Is it doing it? Turn on
off. You just need to find a 2014 5.3 that has the tables in there. Yeah, I said I don't think that my interface buttons are working. And copy those over. It has a flex sensor from factory. Wait a second. So you're telling me that it was factory flex fuel? Oh, well, you don't need to mess with anything because it'll automatically correct for E85. Those are just additional tables. As long as the rest of the tune is good, you should be fine putting E85 in it. It's going to make the correct fueling adjustments. It's going to make the correct timing adjustments, all that jazz. If you want to, you can send it over and I'll take a look at it and double check it. I'll be interested to see how the Typhoon turns out. I'm super excited. I'm glad to see that he's going to pull the block. And for those that don't know, the new owner of the Typhoon's pulling the block and having a forged rotating assembly put in it, which I agree. If I hadn't have been trying to get the thing ready for Rocky Mountain Race Week 1.0 last year, that's probably would have been the path I would have gone down. But, Bill, I was watching that. I watched some of that because, like, I saw he was talking about dual red cam, and then I was like, oh, well, that's just a North Star motor. The problem is he's not going to be able to make big power out of that motor for multiple reasons. But I wish him luck. I would love to see him turn out all kinds of crazy horsepower out of a North Star. Have you checked out Jeff at High PSI TV's Turbo LSG body? Nope, I've not really looked into any G body stuff. What are you asking, Marty? You just said that you got an 89 IROC LS swapped with twin turbos. You asking a question? You just throwing it out there. Is it possible to hit 500 horsepower on a 6-liter without touching the bottom end or going forced induction? No. I mean, if you're saying, yeah, nitrous, but if you're saying no power adders without touching the bottom end, no. Can you take a 6-liter and touch the bottom end? Can you crank up the compression and stuff like that? Yeah, you can do that and easily hit 500. But no, not with, if you're talking heads and cam, I don't think that you're going to make it to 500. Maybe 500 at the crank. Need to know how to set up the scanner data log. Basically, you just got to look at the tables that you're wanting to make adjustments to and find the parameters that affect those tables and make sure that they're in there. Got into a debate with an old man from SRC about vacuum advance to port our manifold. What do you mean to port? Like one of the runners? Explain, Danny. Yeah, I've got some videos on scanner setup. Just search Go Rope Garage Scanner. Any thoughts of adding a want to sell, want to buy on the Patreon chat? No, I haven't even thought about that. You're saying Richard has multiple with rec ports in a cam only. In a dyno cell. I just don't think in the real world you're making 500 horsepower of a 6-liter. Any knowledge on common leak at throttle blade shaft on throttle bodies? Yeah, it's common. I've got Motion Raceworks 102 millimeter throttle body and smoke test it, and they're telling me it's normal for it to leak there. Yeah, most. I would not be surprised to find out that most leak there. It's going to be so minute that it's probably not going to cause any issues. What up, Funny Muffler? Yeah, I'm just saying, 500 is doable at the crank, but not much more than that. You're not churning out 500 wheel horsepower out of a 6-liter with the stock bottom end. The compression ratio is just not there. It's not a question of whether or not it'll hold. Its stock bottom end will hold over 1,000. That's not the issue. The issue is, can you make that much power without touching the bottom end and without forced induction? You can't. So you're saying that it's going to be heads and cam. That's it. And like, I don't know, I guess maybe if you had heads that had absolutely no combustion chamber on them with the biggest valves on the face of the planet, so they were upping the factory compression ratio to 12 or 13 to 1, yeah, it's doable, but it's just like, you're talking about a motor that's like around 10.5 to 1, maybe 11 to 1 on the best day. Yeah, you just can't make it without some kind of power. Ooh, with the carb, that changes things a little bit. Danny, you bring up a good point. So with the carb, you might be able to. As long as you might be able to squeeze enough timing in there with a carb. Especially if you had a carb that had jets big enough to run an E85. Any suggestion for cam kits on a 6-liter? Brian Tooley, Cam Motion. 6.2, yeah. 6.2, I would not be surprised. Now, the Gen 3 or Gen 4, which you prefer? Doesn't really matter to me. Gen 3 6-liter, Gen 4 6.2. Well, Kamar, welcome back. Man, I feel like I may have missed some stuff in there. Oh, specifically ported vacuum or just manifold vacuum. Full vacuum at idle or vacuum when the throttle is open. So you're saying vacuum before the throttle body or vacuum after the throttle body? For time in advance, shouldn't matter. It's not like you're advancing timing with the throttle closed. Ever tuned a 4-cylinder Ecotech motors from the Cobalt? I have not. I've looked at some of the tunes, but no, I don't. As far as I know, I haven't tuned any of them. I don't know. I don't pay attention to what all I tune anymore. I like BTR stuff. I mean, in the world of LS's, it's just like, I don't think there's that much difference on the cam. Yeah, there's no vacuum before the throttle body, but you don't need vacuum advance. There is vacuum wherever the throttle body's open. Or else, you know, there's a reason why things like PCV valves go into the intake instead of the manifold. But if you're talking about vacuum advance, it'd be perfectly fine on the throttle body, or pre-throttle body or post-throttle body distance. I don't think it would probably be that hard to get 500 horsepower on a 6.2 all motor, but once again, you'd have to touch rotating assembly. Yeah, I saw Danny. I had class tonight. Any idea on wide open timing on Frankenstein M311 head? Silver Surfer, I have no clue. Naturally aspirated, 28 maybe. We're not talking about LS's, Marty. No. Iced tea. I have a C6 LS2 vet. Okay. 04, 05, 06, 07. Texas Speed Tsunami version 2. But it feels like my brakes aren't as good because it doesn't make as much vacuum. Yeah, that's normal. I'm sure it probably has way too much overlap. What up, Mike? 500 on a 401? Yeah, definitely doable. Oh, we're just bouncing all over the place, Marty. Yeah, there's a reason it gets even worse, Riley, into the late 4th generation and 5th generation stuff because of AFM and variable valve stuff. A lot of those have vacuum boosters or vacuum pumps on them from the factory because of the low vacuum. But definitely going up to a cam that has a lot of overlap will cause you to lose tons of vacuum. So, oh, wait a second. Let's see if it worked. Oh yeah, you guys look at the I put the new the new emojis in. That's a goat doing a burnout. Oh, that reminds me. Bear with me. I'm trying to think of something. Hey, there's the truck. Speaking of which, I've got a Whipple Supercharger on the way for the truck. Yeah. So we're going to be making some truck boost here soon. Make some of that truck boost. How do I set up a histogram to read AFR without a wideband? I mean, the only thing that you can look at is the narrow bands then. Doop, 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 doop. Where is this? Cloud bot. Nope. What? Okay. See if this works. Do you think my setup would be worth the money to swap out my GPI SS3 cam for a turbo grind? On boosted applications, cams aren't going to make as big a difference. Once you start forcing air into things, it's, you know, it's not as important as whenever the engine's having to draw it. Jeff, don't really talk Hemi around here. Mostly GM stuff. We'll talk Hemi. Marine intakes are not bad at all, Danny. Like the Mercruiser 4.3 intakes, I'd run one of those. Where are the advantages, disadvantages of different types of superchargers out there? Good question, Jonathan Blunt. So you got centrifugal, twin screw, roots. That's the big three. Centrifugal, it's more like a turbo. It's belt driven, and it's based off of RPM. The big thing about centrifugal, they make a lot of top end power without all the bottom end torque. And so bigger horsepower combinations, this is why you see the guys on Street Outlaws and stuff like that switching to Pro Chargers, because it doesn't make a lot of power in the lower RPMs, but in the higher RPMs, it comes on like gangbusters. Now, twin screw and a roots both make power down low. The way they make power is a little bit different. One of them actually compresses air in between the lobes. The other one just jams air into the intake manifold. So the twin screw is more efficient than the roots. And that efficiency also results in generally lower IATs and stuff like that. Roots is probably the oldest style out there. But, I mean, if you look at the 2650s and stuff like that, those are all roots, all simple, you know. Dude, those 4-barrel 4.3 intakes are hard to find. And if you guys haven't figured out, there's a raffle going here. A set for 15 minutes. So get your tickets if you haven't. We'll give away one of the Go Rogue Garage hats. I got them behind me here. Is there a way to shoot from the hip on injection EOI? You gotta know the cam timing. But other than that, you can make adjustments if you're getting gas smell whenever it's idle and stuff like that. You can tweak it and try and play around with it, see if it goes away, stuff like that. How do you mitigate the brakes after adding turbos to a originally non-turbo vehicle? Trust the check valve. That's exactly right. That's buy a quality check valve. Like, don't skimp out on the check valve. It's real tempting to go out and buy the Amazon check valve. No, buy a decent one. Yeah, and so that's what a Roots is. It's a positive displacement blower. It's not actually... It creates boost because of the restriction in the intake, but it doesn't actually compress, if that makes any sense. It kind of sounds counterintuitive, but... Oh, okay. So on HP Tuner's LS6 with the S475 turbo, how accurate can it be on horsepower? It has to be dialed in good. The internal torque calculations are fairly accurate as long as the airflow calculations are accurate, and the airflow is what we tune, so those have to be dialed in. So yeah, as I said, Mike, if you don't have a cam card, just dial it forward and back a couple degrees and see which way makes a difference. And one way is going to make it smell worse, and one way is going to make it smell better. It's hard to tell. Home Solutions guy. Took my throttle body apart before I knew I wasn't supposed to. Done that before. They don't like to go back together. Should I just buy another one? This one's got 220,000 on it. Yeah. Yeah. Might as well, man. It's probably a good idea because if it wasn't failed already, it was probably getting ready to fail. The wiper arms or something on that thing were probably going to die. It is what it is. So... own a Holley 4-barrel TBI. Can I use microsquirt control that thing? Holley doesn't support software. You should be able to use microsquirt to control almost anything, Danny, to be honest. 4-barrel TBI, probably 1 or 2 injector signals is all that's going to be off that. You know, you run it where all outputs are firing at the same time. Like, yeah, you can do it. No, I did not. I paid somebody to design the logo because I don't have an artistic bone in my body. What's your thoughts on the stock 411 run deck 80s? Shouldn't be an issue on the 411. What up, Anthony? Finish your LM7 rebuild. Just receive HP tuners. Perfect. Yeah, watch the videos. Come to the Thursday night live show. If you have any issues, let me know. You can send a login, but you have to join the Patreon. That's how it goes, because if I didn't restrict it through the Patreon, I would be getting 1,000 logs a day. But go over to GoRogueGarage.com. There will be a link to the Patreon up top, or there's one down in the descriptions. What can I expect for horsepower on a 5.3 with 15 pounds of boost? 600 horsepower. 600-ish. 650, maybe. You're going to have some diminishing results, but you're basically double atmospheric, so if it made 350 at the wheel stock, it should double. But you're not going to get straight up to 700, so I'd say 600, 650. Where are the plans for the 496? The 496 is coming out. I'm actually taking some parts off the 496 and moving over to the 598. And I'll be putting those parts over to the 496, and then it's going to sit on engine stand for a while. The big thing is whether or not I want to do anything with the 2-bolt main block. Are any slots open for the last tier? I honestly do not know. I don't ever get on it, my own Patreon. If you message me through Patreon, I won't respond. Let's see here. Nope, sold out. Sold out. Dude, you know what else you have to drop in a boat? Tons of money. Not, no. Marty, how crazy is your cam? And have you done VE tuning, or are you still on MAF tuning? Because VE really needs to be doing idle fueling. Tires and entry fees. Hey, listen, Cole. You're spending all your money on tires and entry fees. You don't need more money for parts. You're already enjoying the car. Like, why ruin that? A 6-speed standalone controllers. No, I've messed with 4 and 5-speed standalone controllers, though. Dude, I don't want to hear it. LS lifters are so much easier than small block Chevy. Had my exhaust redone. Surprising how many pinhole leaks there can be. Oh, man. That's scary. But it's good to hear that your AFRs are proper now. Yeah, exactly. Bust out another 1,000. Boat. Boat's just a hole in the water that you throw money in. Down to ramen and sandwiches. What up, Justin? We got raffle going. You got a couple minutes left, so do the exclamation raffle thing to join the raffle if you haven't. We're raffling off one of the red hats. I got more boxes. So if there is somebody in here that's due a hat already, it'll be going out in the next couple of days. Once all of the free hats are sent out, then I will list the rest up for sale on the website. So I'll let you guys know. What did I miss here? Porsche beat me and I can't have that. I don't blame you. Josh, listen, man. If somebody was offering a trade T-type, I would have done it. But I'm pretty happy getting a big tire Monte Carlo. I'm putting the new hood on this weekend. I'm excited about that too. Schmidt, max boost on LSA, stock head, stock cam, stock bottom end. Listen, as long as you control detonation and intake, intake temperature, cylinder temperature, all that stuff, like, you can put more boost to it than you want. So 20, I'll say 20 would probably be a good place to stop. Hey, Dad, hope you're feeling better. Oh, I'd hope you spend more on your car than your boat. I don't know, man. I think I'm going to keep the ladder bars right now and then think about linking it next year. We'll see. I don't know if I want to get into that whole mess because I'm basically getting into having to reback half the car if I want to go link. So Marty, let me ask you, say you're running the 3-bar OS. Are you planning on running 30 pounds of boost. Is that the reason that's on the 3 bar? 2 bars not enough? There are plans for the Viper. You'll just have to stick around and see. Pump gas without meth injection, 1560. Well, yeah. Cracking stock pistons. That sounds about right. But I said, you run something like meth injection in E85, you can control cylinder temperature. You can run tons of boost on. You guys got to remember, before I blew up the L83 in the Super Auto, I was running, 20 pounds on it with the stock bottom end? No. I will never buy a Steve Morse engine. I'd rather take $70,000-$80,000 outside and light it on fire. We're not going to anything too crazy. Just like maybe 800 horsepower, so nothing too crazy. There'll be stuff. You'll see. Man, I've just got so many things coming in. I'm having a hard time keeping up. I apologize. I'm slightly having like dyslexia tonight. I feel like I'm running a fever. Bingo, De La Soul. I was actually happy to see that. I was happy to see Tim Bailey's car made it all the way through drag week. Because, I don't know that Steve's own car's made it through a whole week of drag and drives. Nor Mullet with an SMX motor in it. I don't know. And then there's a lot of horror stories out there. I'm not getting into this. Boost juice versus M1 methanol. You're talking about a 49% blend versus straight methanol. I'd run boost juice because it's safe. That's kind of the big thing there, but M1 methanol, you got to be careful. That stuff, it burns clear, and if you spring a leak somewhere, you got a good chance to burn your car down. The early stuff goes to 3 bar. But back to that. Marty, if you're only running like 15 pounds of boost, step it down to a 2 bar. You can still put the 3 bar sensor in. E67 dual overhead cam V6 through Patreon. I'll certainly try, Robert. Holly Sniper with a Hyperspark has run on an issue AFR at idles 14.1. Should I lean it out? No, listen, if it's running happy at 14.1, I probably wouldn't worry too much about it. Sorry, the tip of my nose itches. Probably all this red light. No, I hear you, Marnie. Who wants to run 14 pounds boost? I don't know. 14.1 it's getting to the point of being a little bit rich, but engines that are healthier, more higher horsepower are going to be happier a little rich compared to 14.7. They're not going to like Stoic all that much. And so if it was not a Holly Sniper, if it was a Dominator on there or something like that, it would probably end up being around 14.1 where a carb tuner would set it. So I wouldn't worry too much about it right there. Okay. The raffle. The raffle is closed. Let's see here. I don't think I've got a drum roll here.
Oh yeah. Announcing the winner on the October 5th raffle. The winner is... Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Congratulations, Silver Surfer. It's not rigged, I promise you. I promise you. Is he still here? Listen, you have to be here to win. I should have specified that. So if Silver Surfer's not here, I hope he watches the end of this video and is like, oh. Listen, hey, back in the early days, it was rigged. Because it seemed like the same three people won every single time. Yeah, I agree. A sniper's not the best option for field distribution. Yeah, and running rich, that's a good point, Bill. Bring up a good point. Silver Surfer, where are you at? There he is. Okay. Hey, bro, shoot me an email over to the info@GoatRopeGarage or use the contact form on the website. Tell me your size, whether you're a small, medium, or a large, extra large, and your address, and I will get it boxed up and sent down to you. Danny, thanks for asking. The pup is doing good. We had a follow-up earlier this week on 7. Her incision from her second surgery is healing up decent, not the best, but it's getting there. And then she starts chemo next week. So fingers crossed the chemo takes all the cancer out and she lives a long, healthy life, because the cancer that she has, she probably only has about a year if it doesn't get taken care of. Year on the top side. So it comes on strong and hard. Well, there's always a chance of a shipping delay. I'm going to throw a fairly aggressive cam in the ZL1 this winter. Should I have the heads ported? Yes. Yeah. Listen, Justin, like, cam picks up a lot. Because LS heads, this is the big benefit of LSs over small blocks, is that the LS heads flow way better than small block heads ever did. But that's not to say aftermarket small block heads couldn't flow as well as LS heads. There's plenty of guys out there with small block Chevys making way more power than LSs. You know, even hopped up LSs. But if you are going to take the time to do a cam, it's not a bad idea to port the heads at the same time. So, as I said, ZL1, probably going to, you're diminishing returns on boosted applications. So, there is Satan back there behind me. So you're saying run a 3-bar map sensor because that's what I have at Switch OS 2-bar. Well, if you're not running more than 14 PSI, switch the OS over to 2-bar. That way, because on the early Gen 3 stuffs, your table stays the same size and the resolution on your rows changes. And so where you might have tight resolution on 1 bar, the resolution gets a little bit wider on 2, and it gets even wider on 3. And so you're having areas where the ECU's having to do a lot of interpolation behind the scenes, and maybe that interpolation is not the best for your setup. Oh, Mike's over here laying down the law. Only 15 likes. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Daily Soul. I appreciate it, man. Listen, we are going to wrap up. It is 8:33. If you are green and you've got a goat head beside you, make sure you toss in some of the member ones. Here's the smoke monster. Then we got the new Monte Carlo, which we haven't named yet. There you go. Joe's just threw all of them in there. Oh, Bill. I don't want to get on my soapbox here as you're saying porting rec ports is a waste of money. That is not the case. You can always find restrictions somewhere, and at some point in time, the rec port heads even become a restriction. You are correct, Marty, on the fact that you would have twice the money because, yeah, you're going to spend $4,000 on small block Chevy heads to get the airflow that you're getting out of LS ones. So, okay, thanks, everybody. It's been a great night. Appreciate everybody. Congratulations, Silver Surfer. Don't forget to hit me up so I can get a hat out. And listen, I will talk to you guys next week.